Hey there, I'm Jay.
And I'm Danny.
Welcome back to
I Dare You
to Play, the one we've all been waiting for,
Space Quest 4.
Roger Wilco.
And the Time Rippers.
Ooh.
Yeah. Frankly, I don't think Gen Z's ready for this kind of responsibility.
Please.
You shouldn't be traveling through time. That's probably not a great idea now that I think about it.
Whatever. It'll be fine. Nothing can possibly go wrong.
You could break the entire space-time continuum,
You already did that in Life is Strange.
I didn't break it. I set things right.
Sure.
Whatever. You can't handle this.
Yeah, right.
Anyway, enjoy.
Hi, welcome to episode 0 of I Dare You to Play Space Quest 4. Oh my god, I'm so excited.
Yeah, so that's the thing that's happening.
Woo! Alright, sorry.
The long-anticipated
The long-anticipated
Space Quest 4.
Every man, woman, and everything in between has been waiting for. Space Quest 4. Okay.
So,
Anyway.
Jay's pretty excited about it, in case
Shit,
you missed
honey.
it.
Alright.
Did you say honey?
Yeah,
Alright, so here's a fun fact. So, even before we started this channel, Space Quest 4 was one of my fun games to talk about. So, Jay has compiled a list of things I have let slip, and also his personal theories.
Yes.
And I thought we would start this episode by Jay going down, because he has a list.
I have a list.
Going down the list of all his potential theories, and then we'll read Space History Magazine. And remember, a lot of this information that he has is based on random shit that came out of my mouth. So don't judge him too harshly.
Yes. So every single time he mentions something that involves Space Quest, I put it on the list. I do have a sort of order-ish on like how likely I think they are, or how vague or specific they are. But you know, basically, I'll go down the ones that are actually for Space Quest 4 because this is the game we're playing. Let's see. Oh yeah, so obviously, based off the title, which, if you don't know the title of Space Quest 4, it's Roger Wilco and the Time Rippers. So obviously it's about time travel. I'm sure you're shocked.
Or at least
by that.
ripping time.
Ripping time, right, yes. And I think because my dad said that there's at least 12 Space Quest games, so I think the big joke here is that you go to different Space Quest games, and that 12 is one of the ones you go to. So, with that being said, I think, see our Twitch playthrough.
So hold on, you think the creators of Space Quest made like 12 full games?
No. No. That is not what I said at all.
Well, I mean, I'm just asking for clarification.
If they did, then release them. Where are they? Bring them to us!
Go on.
Anyway, so I also think that you go back to Space Quest 1 because, in the Space Quest 1 VGA, there is something
Which we played on Twitch.
called...
And it's available on the YouTube channel.
There's something called a time pod that shows up. And a time pod is like an escape pod, but for time. Like,
Wait, now hold on.
Like this thing on the front cover, I bet you it's a time pod.
So that doesn't mean that you go back to Space Quest 1. It's just a shameless plug that a time pod showed up there.
Sure.
Or whatever that is on the cover there.
Right.
I mean, that is what...
as he realizes his mistake.
No, it's fine. We're going to talk about him in a minute anyway. But, I mean, that is what showed up, though, right? Is what's on the cover here.
Thing.
So, yeah.
It's a time pod.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I can't we talk about this a lot because I like to mention it a lot. The latex babes of Estros. Now, he keeps saying, I have no idea what the hell you're talking about. I never said anything like that. What do you mean, the latex babes of Estros? That's not real. And I remember specifically the very moment
that imitation is so spot on, too, right?
The latex babes of Estros. So, I can actually set the scene for you. So, we were at an intersection, and it was a 4-way intersection. We were in our old convertible, the top was down, you know, it was a nice day outside, and we were talking about Space Quest, and he was getting ready to make a right-hand turn, and then he laughed, and he was like, haha, wait till you get to the latex babes of Estros, and I haven't forgotten it since. I'm like, the what of what now? Is that a Leisure Suit Larry game? Like, I don't understand.
So, to also paint the picture, he hangs on my every word about Space Quest like that.
Every goddamn word.
And there's absolutely no reason I would mess with him.
Obsession at all. Okay? Shush, I don't. Anyway, there's also a Miss Astro Chicken. Because, you know, you had to do it to him.
I mean, there's a Miss Pac-Man. Why wouldn't there be a Miss Astro Chicken?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
There's also the Sequel Police. Which is, I think, was literally our Twitch icon for a minute there. Like, our Twitch profile picture was a Sequel Police guy. Also, at the end of Space Quest 3, when we move over to King's Quest 1, there's a picture of one. At the very end. Go watch it. Trust me, it's there.
Are you sure it's not just Space Police?
You said Sequel Police, though. You specifically said they came
I say a lot of random shit. Have you heard the show?
Also, there's a mall.
As in like Darth Maul?
No, as in like a space mall to go shopping.
Oh, a space mall.
Yes. And I think this would be a really good thing if it was actually there, because then there could be just so much room for plugs. Like there could be a video game store with all of Sierra's other games. That would be hilarious. If that's in there, then kudos to Sierra, because that was a smart move.
You mean Scott Murphy
and Mark Crow, yes.
And Mark Crow, yeah, because that would have been their thing.
Right. Also, that means that Monolith Burger could be back. I hope there's Monolith Burger again. It's cool. I like that. And, oh yeah, wait. You can still do my Monolith meal on the Facebook page.
Yeah, that is an ongoing thing. You just hashtag
that will go on forever for the
my
rest
Monolith
of time.
meal. You
so
just, anytime you're out and you're like, fuck it, let's put it on the
And the last thing isn't just a full-out prediction of mine that he mentioned, is the Energizer Bunny. I have no context. I just know that the Energizer Bunny is there somewhere, supposedly.
I mean, if we're literally traveling in time, that would make sense, though.
Yeah. Because it's anyway. Also, I think that my big thing here. I think that
we're down to Jay's predictions, not random shit that came out of my mouth. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
I think it would be really cool if this game pulled a Sailor Moon on us all.
A Sailor Moon?
Yes, and Roger has some interaction with a future child of his that he's going to have. Because if y'all have ever seen Sailor Moon, one of the actual characters is Mini Sailor Moon, which is Sailor Moon's daughter from the future. So, that's why I said that, but...
Okay.
Also, bonus points to me if I get this right. He either meets or learns who his future wife is, and then actually meets her for the quote-unquote first time in 5 or 6.
In a future game.
Yes.
Yeah, I got you.
In a future game that isn't that future game. Inside this game.
Alright.
Yes. So that's it. That's pretty much all I got.
You're done? That's all you got?
Space Quest 4 specifically, yes.
Do you want to go over anything else?
Space Quest 5 is the one where he becomes a captain. But that's a whole nother ordeal.
He was a captain in 3. I keep telling you that.
A captain of a ship. A captain, like a real captain, with a crew. Imagine that, guys.
So, here we go. Space Piston Magazine is back, by the way.
Yes.
Not like the lame, this particular magazine is one of the reasons why I wanted to do an episode 0. So, strap in and enjoy.
Okay.
Now available at Saks. Spacey Spacewear. Timeless women clothing for the timeless woman.
Okay.
Spacey's model, Stacy, is wearing classic conservative latex, many with mylar wraparound top. The earrings and necklace are dilithium and a tasteful titanium setting. The hair is by Saks' own hairdresser, Scotty. Located at the Galaxy Galleria Mall.
Already been confirmed that there's a mall, y'all. I am winning.
Well, or most of the shit I've mentioned over the years has been right out of this fucking magazine and have nothing to do with the game. So, that's also a possibility.
Either way, I know there's a goddamn mall somewhere.
Space Piston Magazine, and here's your,
Executive producer.
here's your credits, which is awesome. We're going to take a moment.
Oh, wait, have I pointed out that Space Quest 4, this one has voice acting? We get to hear what Roger's voice sounds like, and we get to hear Gary Owens, the narrator. So, I'm very freaking excited for that.
Is he on here, Gary Owens?
Let's see.
Programmers, editors, designers, contributors.
No, and well, it doesn't say have a voices list.
No, it doesn't.
It does not, unless it's on the next page. It's not.
Oh, so on this one, it's a 2-page spread on Roger here. Let me go to page display
It's nice
and
art.
2-page view so we can...
Interview.
An exclusive interview with
Woo!
Roger Wilco, Space Hero. So if you want, I will read the interviewer question, and then you read Roger's response.
Oh shit.
How's that sound?
Okay. If I can read. Alright, there we go.
I see.
Okay.
I think I actually normally I would read the italics and then you read the bold, but it starts with an introduction.
It starts with an introduction.
In recent years, the name Roger Wilco has become synonymous with honor, bravery, heroism, and dumb luck.
Hell yeah, it has.
Here to tell us about himself, his past adventures, and his upcoming endeavors is that swashbuckling space cadet himself, Roger Wilco. Roger, it's common knowledge that before you began an exciting career saving galaxies and rescuing software designers, you were a janitor on a Xenon space lab. But little is known about your early life. Tell us about life back on your home planet of Xenon.
Xenon's a great place. In fact, I can't wait to get home. I haven't been back there since the end of Space Quest 1. I grew up there, descended from a long line of, maintenance specialists. Anyway, after grammar school, my parents enrolled me in the High School of the Custodial Arts, where I took a lot of general ed stuff, you know, basic disinfecting 101, broom wrangling. I wasn't exactly at the head of my class, but I did score a perfect 2 on our last History of Mop Management pop quiz.
Keep going.
Oh shit. When I was old enough, I went on to janitorial graduate school where I majored in industrial waste. After graduation, I reeled... Oh my god, I like can't read. I reeled in this heavily sought after position with nucleotherm hazardous substance containment services and was assigned to contract duty aboard the Space Lab or CODA. I couldn't believe my luck getting this gig. All those veterans at nucleotherm and they chose me. Okay.
In what has become known across the galaxy as the Sarian Encounter, you single-handedly saved Xenon and the entire Ernon star system from the evil Sarians. How'd you do it?
Well, it wasn't easy, Flip. The stuff I went through, well, other guys would have snapped. If not for my keen wit, those slimy Sarians would have wiped us out. Why, I braved so many dangers.
So tell us about it already.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Well, the Sarians were after the star generator, a gizmo Xenon scientists were working on. They attacked the Arcada, the space lab where I was stationed, and slaughtered the whole crew. Everybody but me, that is. I cleverly evaded them.
You were napping in a broom closet, right?
I was resting up for the big battle. Yeah, sure. Anyway, they took the star generator, and I went after them. I infiltrated the Sarian battlecruiser Deltar, set the star generator to self-destruct, and got out of there just in time for a front row seat to see the Deltar and all those filthy Sarians get blown to bits.
But that wasn't really the end of the Sarians, was it?
Well, no, now that you mention it. Their boss, a big slug named Vohal, was pretty tweaked at me for foiling his operation, so he sent a couple of thugs after me to make sure I wouldn't get in his way when he unleashed an army of genetically engineered life insurance salesmen on the galaxy.
Gads!
Yeah, I hear ya.
But you were able to stop him?
Yep. Once again, I went up against impossible odds and emerged a hero. It was an amazing display of courage and determination, if I do say so myself. God. And when you're looking for top performance in a tight situation, I'm your man, Flip. Talk about staying cool.
Oops. Hold on. I want to make sure I get down to one page here. So what happened, Roger?
Well, it was like this. Volhall's goons kidnapped me and hijacked a shuttle to the planet Labian. Through sheer genius, I was able to escape.
The way I heard it, the hovercraft crashed, killing your captors. That made it pretty easy to get away, didn't it?
Well, not as easy as you might think. Sure. See, there was still a deadly root monster, yeah, that thing, a ferocious swamp creature, and a Labian terror beast to contend with. Then I had to outsmart another of Volhall's gorillas and steal the shuttle so I could penetrate the asteroid fortress and pull the plug on that corpulent creep once and for all.
Well, it sounds like you earned your pay that time, Roger.
All in a day's work for a guy like me, Flip. Anyway, I aborted the launch and jetted out of there in an escape pod. I know how to read. I crawled into the sleep chamber, and the next thing I knew, I woke up in a trash freighter.
So basically, it was out of the frying pan and into the fire for you, right, Raj?
Yeah, things didn't look too good, but I blasted out of the freighter in an old, jalopy? Wow, that's an old word. Okay, jalopy I resurrected from the rubble. What I didn't know was I was being tailed by Ornoid the Annihilator, that one-man collection agency from hell. Yeah, no kidding. He nearly had me in a tourist trap on Fleaput, but at the last minute I wiped him out. After that grueling experience, I thought I'd take it easy for a while.
That's when you got the distress call from the two guys from Andromeda, right?
The distress call?
Yeah, the distress call.
Yeah, ever seen those guys? Jeez, what a couple of geeks. Anyway, before I knew it, I was face to face with the most ruthless... Now I don't know how to read. The most ruthless band of outlaws in the galaxy, the Pirates of Pestilon. I was lucky to get out of there with my skin, not to mention those two ingrates I dropped off on Earth. Why I risked my neck for those bozos, I'll never know.
Rumor has it the two guys actually authored your adventures, Roger, making them effectively your creators. What's your reaction to that?
Those rumors are greatly exaggerated, Flip. It's that kind of tabloid trash that gives journalism a bad name, and frankly I'm shocked that you'd print such a thing. You wouldn't, would you?
Of course not, Roger. I'll edit that part out. So tell me, what are your plans for the future?
Well, God damn it. Okay. Well, Flip, I think I'm overdue for a vacation. I'm not even gonna think about anything brave or heroic for at least 6 months. I'll be kicking back on some sandy beach soaking up x-rays. Heck, maybe I'll even check out Roberta Land. Nice.
Editor's note, Roger Wilco's amazing adventures are chronicled in Space Quest 1, Space Quest 1, The Syrian Encounter, Space Quest 2, Vol's Revenge, and Space Quest 3, The Pirates of Pestilon.
Also, another nice picture.
This is the best way, by the way, to go back and revamp what's had the story so far. That was so much better than the King's Quest thing, right? Anyway, so here we go. Computer game, Space Piston reviews, Space Quest 4, Quest for Hint book sales.
We have that.
By Joe Critic. Yeah, you might have noticed that it was an ongoing Easter egg in the back of our...
There.
It's an ongoing Easter egg in some of our intros. It just shows up here and there randomly.
Skatorama.
In an amazing display of creative marketing, Sierra has at last perfected the unsolved computer game, Space Quest 4 Roger Wilco...
Unsolvable.
Unsolvable, yeah. Space Quest 4 Roger Wilco and the Time Rippers. It's not just an adventure. It's a convoluted mass of obstacles only the designers, those maniacal two guys from Andromeda, could ever hope to unravel. This 10-pound box of fun is sure to confound even the most dedicated computer game masochist.
Lovely.
But wait, there's help. In a brilliant attempt to scam you out of a few more buckazoids, Sierra offers the 350-page Space Quest 4 hint book and doorstop. The answers are there, and you'll have no trouble finding them with the help of your local reference librarian and Sierra's handy Reveal-O-Matic electric hint eraser pen, guaranteed to reveal all but the most useful hints. Need I say more?
Oh, Scumsoft!
Scumsoft, FX-DOS.
God.
512K, 800 megahertz. Skatorama. Experience the thrill of zero-G skating at Skatorama. Clip this coupon for 2 hours free rental in your blow-by foot thrusters.
Note, Skate at your own risk. Skatorama is not responsible for flash burns, brain damage, or other injuries incurred while skating at our facility, located at the Galaxy Galleria Mall. There it is again. I have a feeling this mall is going to be in the game.
Road test, the Time Buster 2000 SUX.
What? Here comes a time.
By Space Piston expert, Why Hugh Iota.
Why? Oh my god. Why Hugh Iota, really?
Yeah. There comes that time in every young boy's life when he begins to see things around him from a new perspective.
Sure.
Suddenly he dreams of owning a house with a white picket fence and a nice lawn and a front room he'll never use, or a boat like his Uncle Joe uses when he's smuggling things into the country. Or a time pod, just like the Time Buster 2000 SUX. And yes, I'm specifically saying SUX instead of sucks because it's funnier that way. Our test model proved adept at restoring our childhood dreams and making us feel like children. Its overall feel is remarkably reminiscent of its predecessor, the Time Slug 1000 SEX. And yet its myriad technological advancements outshine its dull, passe, boring, vomit-inducing competitors. Although we were denied the chance to actually test our test model, its look speaks well for its performance. The fit and finish of the polished aluminum body is indicative. The polished aluminum body is indicative of the temporary corporate takeover of the Time Buster company, and in all probability, we will never see its equal. Carlos particularly enjoyed the chrome hood ornament.
Okay.
The artificial Orat fur upholstery even fooled our interior expert, Mr. Lindsley.
Oh, okay.
The door hinge creaked slightly if we opened the door too fast, but we were able to compensate quickly without lost control. The factory has assured us it will be corrected in next year's model. Our team leader, Mr. Heitman, found the small storage compartment a bit too small to hold a Tyrannosaurus diverting side of beef, but he has not been able to further comment since his vacation to prehistoric Florida.
Oh, well.
Our drivetrain experts, Otto and Manuel,
Oh, my lord.
were also unavailable as they were suffering from a couple of nasty hangovers they acquired in the later part of the 12th century. Overall, we give the Time Buster 2000 SUX our highest rating for its aesthetics and a no-call rating for its performance. For more details and a most excellent brochure, contact Bill or Ted in our sales department.
I haven't even started playing this game and I already love it.
So you know who Bill and Ted are, right?
Okay.
Like, Bill and Ted was like the Keanu Reeves, and they're making a third one, by the way, finally. But they travel through time. That was like the whole thing. Bill and Ted travel through time.
Oh,
so,
my
yeah.
God.
They're actually contact Bill or Ted in our sales department. That's the joke there. Yeah. Price, list price, 38,415 buckazoids.
Damn.
Price as tested, 38,425 buckazoids.
Oof.
Prices tested include standard option package plus 10 buckazoids to have the ashtray cleaned. Dumb lot, boys. Other options available include Sound Sucks Deluxe 8-track stereo system, interior light, interior door latch.
Cool.
Cigarette lighter, cigarettes, driver's license, windshield wipers, time streams are wet, rear window defogger, asterisk.
Available only on models with rear window.
Yep.
Oh, makes sense.
Rear window. Mr. Fusion. The frost-free glove box with ice maker and a clock. Okay. General data, curb weight 520 pounds. Weight distribution front rear 55%, 65%. It comes up a little more than 100%, by the way. Length 144 inches, width 71 inches, height 56 inches, seating capacity 1, trunk space 0.
Wait, seating capacity 1, but the picture has 2.
Yeah, I know.
Wait, what?
Suspension, Suspendo-Manic.
Oh, okay.
Engine, type dual turbo hot air cooled, 42 valve 5-cylinder inline V8. Horsepower, SAE 15
per decade.
Per decade, that's right. Torque, lots. The maximum speed, 32 decades per hour.
Cool.
Performance, acceleration, 0 to 30 decades in 5 seconds.
5 seconds.
0 to 60 decades in 5 seconds. 0 to 80 decades in 5 seconds. Because it's a time bomb.
Wow.
Minimum stopping distance, 0 feet. No brakes, plus or minus 20 milliseconds. Lateral acceleration, 2.5 Gs. Anti-grav slalom, 5 seconds. Yeah, that's the ski thing where they go down the slalom.
Oh, yeah.
I could never pronounce it. At 80 decades per hour. Interior noise, 80 decibels. Interior noise with door open, 60 decibels.
What?
Fuel economy, 50 watts per decade city. 120 watts per decade highway. Editor's note, the real reason Hugh didn't test this test model is that he had a little trouble with the UIVPPP, User Identity Verification Pirate Protection Program.
What?
We didn't want him to feel like a complete idiot, so we let him leave this part of his review. You can be a pretty sensitive guy. However, some of you may find yourself in the position to take a little joyride in a time buster, which doesn't exactly, well, belong to you.
Oh.
Although we don't condone or even encourage such childish and potentially destructive behavior,
Sounds like a great time.
we're including this solution to the UIVPPP for your convenience.
Oh yeah, what is it?
This would be your, basically your yeah. This would be your thing.
Latex babes.
When you yeah, Roger Wilco and Latex Babes. So when you log into the game, remember how it tells you like, so it'll give you like a thing. You've got to look it up.
Oh my god.
Time travelers everywhere are flocking to futuristic Xenon to view and photograph the amazing post-apocalyptic landscape. If you and your family plan to visit this bleak yet fascinating vacation getaway, this walking tour will help you get the most from your stay. Space Piston safety tip, avoid the cyborgs. Warning, the following section include hints that experienced game players may not want to see. Continue reading only if you have trouble getting started playing Space Quest.
Oh, is this? Oh.
So yeah, we're gonna skip the little walkthrough. That's fine. There's the centerfold.
Okay.
You know, it's got the hot chicks on the time pod, the 2000 SUX.
Cool.
Letters to the editor. Hold on, I'm gonna go back to single page view here. So, to the editor, I must ask that you remove my name from your mailing list and cancel my subscription. In your last issue of Space Piston, your center spread featured an extremely scantily clad woman whose presence could only be for sensationalism and sexual exploitation.
You mean the one on the last page?
Yep. Lounging atop the new model QXV economical phase shifter with a set of quad beam thrusters mounted to the heat shielding, in the background several so-called engineers were gaping either at the QXV or the cheap bimbo. Everyone knows that you can't mount quad beams on the shielding without ripping off half the refracting tiles. Until you get your facts straight, count me as an ex-subscriber, Stephen Broadfox. Dear Stephen, first of all, those quad beams are specially modified for the QXV. By simply shaving about 1/8 of an inch from the dorsal seam with a razor blade, an easy modification that you could make at home if you weren't such a chucklehead. Secondly, that extremely scantily clad woman you're referring to is yours truly, the editor of Space Piston. Third, although I am not a bimbo, I do confess a certain affection for solidly built, well-tuned machines like the QXV. As you can guess, I'm also quite fond of obnoxious, hot-headed, ignorant ex-subscribers like yourself. Ed.
Alright then.
I also want to point out Radio Shack for all your nifty electronic gadget needs. On sale this week at our Galaxy Galleria location, Shockmaster Home Shock Treatment Unit. Only 2,500 buckazoids.
Quit smoking.
Lose weight or just for fun. Alright, to the editor. We at Let's Electronoids would like to address several comments made in your recent report on our new Time Warp 12,000. There were significant improvements made in the 12,000, features not found in competitors' products or in our earlier model, the Let's Electronoids Time Warp 10,000. These features include argon dampened stabilizers, non-stick flow-mo easy glide techniques,
Whatever the hell that is.
and computerized nitro injection with air fuel dynamicsing. We feel your time tests were not representative of the typical user's experience. Our marketing research has shown that the average time warper uses his pod to make many short hops a few minutes or days back and forth to win bets or contests and play practical jokes. We realize the time warp gets less than ideal timeage under your test conditions, but most users do not visit the place. God damn it, I can't read.
I
The
even lost their spot.
Pleistocene 20 times a day.
Oh,
Pleistocene. It's
Oh my God.
prehistoric times.
Okay.
I
Lastly, we
can
do
never.
not object to, and in fact we encourage, comparisons between our old model Time Warp 10,000 and the new model 12,000. However, we feel it was journalistically irresponsible to title your report, Let's Blue the Time Warp Again. Wow. Shall we let's?
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
Let's Electron. That was a long way to
Also,
go for that
seriously?
joke and totally worth it.
Seriously. U-hop. I swear to God.
Hmm?
U-hop.
Yeah, we haven't gotten there yet. Look at the little skull pancake butter.
Oh my God.
Anyway, dear Mr. Letts, we stand behind our evaluation 100%. Perhaps we would feel differently if we had accepted the envelope hidden in the glove compartment of the sample time warp you provided, Ed. Universal hut of pancakes. He hops, she hops, we all hop to U-hop. From Terra to the black hole, there is always a U-hop ready to serve you the best Labian deathberry pancakes you've ever tasted. So time hop to U-hop. There's only a century near you. There's
one in a century.
There's one in a century near you.
Why
And
is
of course,
it suddenly all about time travel?
and you
though?
remember Labian deathberries, right? Like.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh. Anyway.
Yeah.
So here's my question: why in the first 3 Space Quest games was time travel like never even mentioned, and now all of a sudden, it's like, oh, this big thing. I don't understand.
I don't know. Maybe this is a time travel magazine. Like they're covering time travel this month. So.
I don't know. Whatever. Anyway.
To the editor, I've been one of your subscribers for several centuries. I'm currently living in the future, but I get your magazine through the time channels.
I have a simple request.
Sorry. Can you please start putting your mag in a flux protective wrapper? My last issue arrived with the first 50 pages seared and blackened, and the type on pages 117 through 171 was completely reversed and unreadable. Unless I held it up to a mirror, there's no reason for anomalies like that. Time Stud uses a flux protective wrapper. Jaunty Time Jockey uses a flux protective wrapper. Why can't you? Seymour Nebulas.
Wow.
Dear Seymour, according to our records, we started using flux protective wrappers approximately 12 years from now. Unfortunately, our records also indicate that your subscription to Space Piston expires 11 years from now and isn't renewed. If only you could have held out for that extra year. Ed.
Oh. That sucks.
To the editor. I, in common with a lot of your people my age, I'm 31. I have found that one of the most tragic paradoxical anomalies resulting from time travel is becoming one's own father. I have just this problem, and I'm at wit's end. No matter what I do, it isn't good enough for me. I do nothing but boss myself around, but it doesn't do any good. I just walk away from myself without listening to me.
Oh, yeah?
I once asked myself to borrow the keys to my car. I got the keys, but not without having to endure another one of my lengthy lectures on responsibility. When I was my age, I respected my peers. Anyway, I brought the car home late, and boy, was I ever peeved. That was the first time I actually took a razor strap to my behind. This is going to hurt me a lot more than it'll hurt me, I told myself. Yeah, I thought, like I really care how I feel. Anyway, it's something for your readers to consider. Brian K. Hughes, Senior Junior.
Holy shit. What?
Dear Mr. Hughes is...
You
bring up an interesting point.
Of course,
it's best to just say no to becoming your own father.
Just say no.
But the easier said than done. You might want to send for my free booklet, Do's and Don'ts of Dating Your Parents. And remember, someday, when you're older, you'll realize how much you loved you. And how much you miss bouncing yourself on your knee and teaching yourself to fish and going to father-son spaghetti dinners with yourself.
What the hell?
To the editor, having just read the previous letter, I must strongly disagree with Mr. Hughes, Jr. Sr. To prove my point, I am performing an experiment in which I intend to kill my own
Oh. To the editor, I'm ready to complain in advance.
8 years from now, I will not
receive 3 issues in a row, as my address will change. To avoid this problem, I am including my future address. Please do not change your records yet, as the address enclosed is still a vacant hillside.
Sally Farnsworth, Wilby Jones. Dear Sally, unfortunately, as the head of our subscription complaints department is fond of saying, we can't change history. If you're not going to receive those 3 issues in a row 8 years from now, there's nothing we can do about it. In order to compensate for those 3 issues, I'm sending you 3 copies of the current issue.
So the future is, so time is unchangeable.
No, they're saying they're refusing to do it.
Oh. They're just refusing.
I feel I must strongly object to your feature article appearing 17 months from now. Although it is timely, it certainly isn't relative. Albert Einstein, 2 through 4.
Dear Messrs. Einstein.
I beg to differ with you. My brother-in-law is going to write about that future article. So from where I'm standing, it's relative. Like, because it's relative to where you are, yeah. Bucky Starr, Space Cadet, in The Giant Rat of Anthrax 3.
By Man Vardbob.
Hold on, I gotta probably zoom in on this one a bit.
When
so
we left our hero, he had just escaped the clutches of the evil Queen
Morbidia,
whose plans for the intrepid cadet can only be hinted at in a family publication, and was on his way to rescue the Admiral's daughter from captivity and torture by old Starsky and Hutch reruns in the Cloud City of
Cumula.
Bucky
Starsky and Hutch was a real TV show, by the way.
Oh,
and it
was.
And it was old even when this game came out.
Oof.
Bucky Starr watched the charge indicator of his Mark 38
yeah.
AB turbo space skimmer fade from a cool and lucid green, not, he mused, unlike his sweetheart's hair, through several dubious shades of blue and purple, finally settling on an angry red, like the bloodshot eyes of a Raglan piranha toad. After a particularly nasty night on the town in one of the least desirable neighborhoods in the lower levels of the miners' quarter on Beta Draconis 14, and recalled how he had laughed at the fortune teller who had read his earlobes only the previous day in the bazaar in a booth situated between the invertebrate boutique and the sluggo stick vendor. Smirking at her exclamations of doom and flipping her dried herring by way of a gratuity. Suddenly the ship began to spin out of control downward, ever downward, until it continued on page 197.
Oh.
Is that all one sentence? That's all one giant run-on sentence, isn't it? Until you get to like the last sentence. Like it's all one fucking sentence.
Wait, what the hell?
Right?
I just noticed that.
I noticed it because I was reading it. There's only one period in the whole fucking thing.
Oh my god. Continued on page 197.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. All right. Let me
Is
see.
that all of it?
No,
Oh.
I'm just zooming out a little bit so I can. Buckazoid Bills! Arcade and Sushi Bar. Come on down to Buckazoid Bills for all your favorite shoot 'em up and knock 'em down, kill those slimy alien games. Located in the Galleria. Buckazoid Bills is just the place to drop off screaming brats and in-laws while you shop. Just in, middle-aged, flatulent kung fu tribbles. Located at the Galaxy Galleria Mall.
Weird. Okay.
Travels through the time stream with Tippy, the time tramp.
Oh boy.
Greetings from the space-time continuum, time jockeys. It's me, Tippy, your time travel consultant, with more tips to tender for trans-time tourists. I just got back from the most whirlwind time jaunt, out of which I've chosen My top 10 sites. Don't pass these up on your next weekend trip through the Chrono Stream. The Big Bang.
Ooh.
No time tours complete without a stop at the Big Bang. The granddaddy of all the smaller bangs. Pack a picnic lunch in a thermos because there are no concession stands within several thousand light years of this colossal conflagration. Something that's anything.
Everything that's anything will be there, so don't pass up this chance to grab a gander at all the matter in the entire universe.
Yeah. Who killed Abraham Lincoln?
Okay, we've all seen Earth and we've been terribly unimpressed. Yeah, no kidding. But one of the larger tour companies, Just Say Chrono, has come up with a terrific idea. Travel to the capital of the United States, Washington, D.C. in the 19th century to see the president take a bullet right in the balcony. And you get to actually take part in the mystery. Was it the insane wife, the vice president, the lead actor? You'll feel like you're a part of the mystery, and you'll get to see mankind at his worst. A sight not to be missed. 3. The Planet of the Dogs.
Hold on. We'll read the, okay. Yeah, the Planet of the Dogs. One last stop at Earth before we swing out of the Sol System.
Sol System.
Contrary to their own predictions of the ascension of the ape, the planet goes to the dogs. Literally, canines become the dominant sentient species at the end of World War III. Of
course they do. Wait, that was dolphins.
Now, every house has 2.5 fire hydrants and a chewy stick in every pot. Continued on page 20. Bargains, 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 sales, deals, specials, and steals. Visit Software Excess in the Galleria Mall.
Galaxy Galleria.
You won't find prices like these anywhere. You won't find a software store anywhere else. Located in the Galaxy Galleria Mall.
Oh my god.
What was that?
We know how to read, guys.
Allegedly.
I promise.
Ask Smokey Crankshaft. Oh, here we go.
Oh,
Dear
boy.
Smokey, I'm using a TurboFlex Dynacharge Time Hopper Deluxe with a Flabenket non-aphonic around sound system. Trouble is, whenever I go into hyperdrive, I leave the sound behind. I can't hear anything. Do I need a more powerful system? Drew LeBlanc. Dear Drew, whoever sold you that Flabenket should be poked with a 3-pronged 2-slot point. It's useless without a trans amp, which will run you another 1,200 buckazoids or so. Basically, the trans amp runs a nanosecond or 2 ahead of your hog pod, and dumps the sound waves just ahead. You warp on by just in time to catch the sound. The trans amp also keeps your system from punching sonic holes in the time channel behind you, as you've probably been doing up till now. No big deal, but you've probably been responsible for busting a lot of eardrums throughout history. Oh. Smokey Crankshaft. So you're cranking your radio up, and the sound is being projected behind you in time, so you're blowing everybody's eardrums as you fly by.
Dear Smokey, I've got a Century Skipper Model 45 with infinite cyclo drive rated at 4,500 BTU.
Betelgeuse time units.
I almost said Beetlejuicin.
Yeah, Betelgeuse time units.
Time units.
The ram sphere's cranked to about 3.2 GAEs on the Escher scale, and I'm getting about 9 to 1 on the Sunonometer. My question is this: if I ramp up the photo drive to a full 256 SKU, how much additional Saganism will I need to reach the event horizon? Peter Paul.
Saganism.
Yeah, I don't.
Saganium.
Sure, Saganium. Peter Paul in Murray. Dear Peter, please do not send us riddles or puzzles. This is not a game magazine.
Wow.
Dear Smokey, remember that Aromatic 2000 hog pod you sold me 2 months ago for a mere 4,000 buckazoids? I took it into my mechanic for a shakedown, and he told me the timage meter had obviously been rolled back. And that's even though it said only 75,000 years. The time tread showed more like 275,000 years. You are a cheat and a fraud, and I'm reporting you to the authorities. Dad.
Oh, shit.
Dear Dad, calm down. Take some Geratoid. The first rule of thumb when buying a used hog pod is let the buyer beware. You didn't.
You got taken. I'm willing to bet you'll never let it happen to you again. So that 4,000 buckazoids was well spent to learn a very important lesson. Right? Sure. Give my love to Mom and the cats. Oh, God.
Thanks, Smokey. Millennium, calling all time jumpers. This month only, a Millennium Pod Fitters, incredible values. Customize your hog pod. Guaranteed lowest prices anytime. Call 1-9600-555 Millennium. Mail orders accepted.
Okay.
The Plasma Drive Shop. We stack our plasma up against anybody's. Razzmatazz, Plasma Drive. Phantasm,
Plasma Drive.
Asthma Phasma Drive. Epicea. No man likes it. No woman will talk about it. Unwanted chia growth. Epicea. Like the chia. Remember the chia pets?
Chia pets?
Yeah, it was a big thing when this game came out. It never fails when you're taking your hog pod into warp. With the windows rolled down, a few seeds blow in and land on your girlfriend. She doesn't notice. She keeps drinking water. Next thing you know, wham, chia. And now think epicea. Instantly removes that unsightly chia from your lip, leg, or ultra-sensitive bikini area. Jesus Christ. Cauterizes as it works, so there's no messy damping. And with anesthetic cream,
a
certain percentage of women
experience hardly any discomfort at all.
A certain percentage of women experience hardly any.
Epicea, and you can't be chia free, for the rest of your life. From the makers
of Epimol. Blackhead.
What?
It's Blackhead. And Epi Fingernail.
What?
Thrusters. We got thrusters. Call up and ask for Stephanie, our winsome thruster gal.
Okay.
Acme ancillary thrusters. Sam's ancillary thrusters. Fleazodyne ancillary thrusters. Guaranteed 100% used ancillary thrusters. Hog fitters. Shield and tile department. Ask for marine she-shell shielding by the seashore. I think I actually said it right too, right? She sells shielding
by the seashore.
Yeah.
Woo!
Kitchen sink.
Wow.
Self-sticking heat shield tile.
32.
Headstrong no wax heat shield. Bruno Wasser tile. My tile. Doggy's tile.
Pulse shielding.
Oh, neutrino
shielding. My life shielding.
My life shielding. Instead, choice of colors. What kind of fuel am I? There's no fuel like our fuel. Sangnium, bendium,
whatever the hell that says.
Leslie Nielsen.
Oh my god.
Opolamine, Cradanol, Jimiacol. That is all. Some of these are only funny when you read them out loud because you're like, what the fuck does that say? Nefzin? I don't know. Stop skidding through... Enough is enough, that's right.
God. Stop skidding through time currents.
Time treads.
Deluxe deuterium belted omni-radial time treads. Standard mono-radial.
Acme slipstring, semi-belted, somewhat radial.
Fester's nearly belted, almost radial time treads, like Fester Blatz?
Sure. Mendenhall's unbelted non-radial Skidmeister. Terry's anti-belted, not even close to radial death threads. They're called death threads. Fuck. Continued from page 16.
Holy shit. Oh.
It's a laugh riot and only proves that every species gets what's coming to them.
About the dog planet.
Yep. The ID of Altair 4. Stop by for the ultimate demonstration of mind over matter. Get this, the collective unconscious of dead civilization comes to life and destroys everything for your entertainment pleasure. See astronauts torn limb from limb. See the ID chewed up with the scenery. Stranger than fiction, more spectacular than watching the Death Star take out another rebel planet. You may want to set your time pod to auto replay and catch this one over and over again.
God.
Gidget goes Nova. The star system of 45A in the Sector B subcluster, a star we are affectionately called Gidget, for her cute, upturned, hydrogen-helium, conversion vector, and those two darling little sunspots on her face. Goes nova in about 4 billion years. When she goes, she takes 15 civilizations, including the pleasant little Argarian culture of just sprouting along the plump equator of Scobar 4, 400 additional colonizable planets, and an old abandoned hulk of a Death Star.
It's not the Big Bang, but you can almost hear the civilizations yelping in those last few seconds.
Jesus Christ.
6. The end of all life itself.
Again,
restaurant at the end of the universe.
Again, you can hear the collective sigh of relief as all life comes to an end. When a gigantic black hole opens up in the center of the universe, and for those of you keeping score, it's going to happen at precisely continued on page 48.
Oh.
Cams tuned headers sport exhaust mufflers. What? Dual tip quadroflex. Whiz bang mufflers. Stainless tip split and tape mufflers. Oval tip mufflers. Hand knit 100% wool mufflers.
Extra loud.
Choice of colors.
Time patrol radar detectors.
The bare essentials. Fuzz be gone. Cop away. Officer get lost. Constable no more. Law be damned. And the bail jumper.
Anti-theft devices.
Teach that crook a lesson he'll never live to forget.
Wow. Wow.
Brink security lock. Hog lock. Anti-gravity security. Field generator. Electrocute. High voltage. Security teddy bear. Insta-fried
deeping systems.
Toast a thief. Hot wire coils.
Puddle a punk.
Nukem hog pod cover. Nice.
Oh my gosh.
Tonight, last night, or even the night before that, let it be Corona. For a real treat, try it with a slice of mango. Corona Ale.
Holy shit.
Which I actually drank during the show.
Yes.
Monolith Burger! Get change back from your Buckazoid at Monolith Burger in the Galaxy Galleria Mall.
Assuming the mall exists, which I'm becoming more confident that it is, it's there.
No, this is the back cover. Oh. That was it!
Holy shit. This is the longest episode 0 ever.
Yeah, this is longer than an actual fucking episode, so...
Yeah.
Sorry about that, but this was actually literally one of my favorite face
so
pistons.
Much fun.
This was one of my favorite face pistons of all time. I fucking love this one. It cracks me up. There's just so much funny in it.
There's so much shit.
Like, every fucking thing in it is funny. And it made an impression on me for a very long time. Epicchia. Yeah. And the ass-smoking crankshaft, that shit about blowing people's eardrums through time, is a fucking joke I've told over and over. It's fucking hilarious.
Oh my god.
There's your software store, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I thought I don't know if I actually said this on here, but I thought it would be cool if there was like some kind of video store or something.
Time Buster 2000 sucks. Fucking hilarious. And they have an ad for their fucking book in the fucking book. I mean, it's hilarious.
I like the pictures though, like the nice little, like, who draws all of this? Who did they hire to draw all of these?
I don't know, but I mean, there you go. There's your Roger Wilco, like,
I like
over
that
the
picture.
shoulder.
That's so cool.
All right, so that's it for episode 0. We'll see you next week when we finally begin Space Quest 4.
Woo!
Roger Wilco and the Time Rippers.
Voice acting.
As always, there are links down below, and you can find us on your favorite social media platform by searching IDU2P. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.
Bye!